The internet has a lot of questions. Luckily, I'm literate. Ha ha! Score for me, baby. Are you literate? I hope you're literate. If you're not literate, please consider going to school, becoming literate. It's a great thing, being able to read. Critical life skill. Anyway, I asked if anyone had any questions, and 275 people responded, yes, we do. To which I said, who freaking asked? Then I realized it was me, and I was making this for a video. So, I guess this is where we're at. First question from Boab Han Sith, Mr. Cubfan. If you were to choose to fight 100 duck-sized llamas or 10 llama-sized ducks, how did you end up in this situation? And at what point did you realize accepting this challenge was a mistake? I was probably talking to Johnny Knoxville as part of the Jackass Forever movie. And at what point did I realize accepting this challenge was a mistake is immediately upon seeing either 100 duck-sized llamas or 10 llama-sized ducks. Either one. Immediately I would recognize the mistake. Thank you for your question. Next question from Amy. What actually caused the moon to go off course and destroy Hermitland? Also, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? That is a good question. I don't think anybody knows what caused the moon to go off course. I'm going to assume it was probably green, but who really knows? Also, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? I'm going to say cookie dough. Delicious, delicious cookie dough. So let's go to the next question from Scar, actually. Scar asking a question today. Who will achieve orbit first in 2022? Starship, SLS, Space Launch System from NASA, Starliner, or New Glenn? Definitely not New Glenn, because New Glenn doesn't exist at all in any form yet. Starliner, probably not. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say SLS. I'm going to actually believe in SLS for once. Because SLS doesn't get a lot of love, but SLS I think might do it, believe it or not. Yeah, I'm gonna go with SLS. If you don't know, this is what SLS looks like. It's basically NASA's next generation heavy lift launch vehicles, so that is what that is. Next question, name your top 3 favorite pranks you ever played on Hermitcraft, and who has been your favorite Hermit to prank? Let's see. Favorite prank, I would say, would probably be the Ren Cat prank on Ren Dog in Season 5 that Scar and I played. Just because the Ren Cat came together so beautifully. Here's a photo of Ren Cat, if you've never seen it before. For whatever reason, this is just hilarious to me, and it will always be hilarious. Other great pranks that we've played include... I really liked the Escalium Disaster prank, also on Season 5, where basically we had Iskal's... Scar and I had Iskal's reactor explode, and we just did nothing and watched the disaster unfold. Momo went down with the ship, RIP the little man on the boat. And then we also have the Tango Ice Princess prank. That was a great prank. Took a very long time to make that one, but was quite funny, and yeah, I think complimented his nether base quite well. So those were probably the top 3. Who has been your favorite Hermit to prank? All the Hermits. Absolutely everybody. I love pranking them. Next question. Let's see. We got Sonic DRJ. If you could pick one mob or biome from previous votes that hasn't already been added or confirmed to be added to Minecraft, which one would you pick and why? I maintain, to this very day, to my dying breath, that Mob A, from the original mob vote where Phantoms were selected, should have been the one that got in. It should have been Mob A. It was an aquatic... sort of like a giant squid type mob that I think would have like pulled you under from the surface. We need a hostile water mob that's not a zombie variant, right? We need like some type. I mean, we got guardians, I guess, but just being out in the open ocean, that should be a little bit dangerous, right? You hear all these things, especially when you're underwater, where you got like these sounds like off in the distance of these huge creatures. There's all these underwater sounds that are fantastic. But they're not backed up with the threat of an actual general water mob that can swim and can sort of appear anywhere in the ocean. So I think Mob A is a tremendous missed opportunity. I would definitely pick Mob A to be added to the game. Even now, if they wanted to bring it back, I think it would fit quite nicely. Next question from Jove2K. Do you have any hidden talents that's not in Minecraft. Yes, I can recite. I can recite the entirety of the V for Vendetta speech from memory, at will. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that now, but I can do that. I might do that like on a stream if you guys want to see that, but it's quite long, and it's kind of awesome. So, yeah, that's the one that starts off, voila, in view, humble vaudevillian veteran, cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. And it just keeps going on from there, and it's basically called the V speech. You can look it up on YouTube, but I can recite that from memory. Don't ask why. Next up, we got Jeffrey. Before becoming a YouTuber, what were you planning on doing at life? I mean, I was going to school, doing university. I was studying astronomy and physics. I got a degree in both of those. Yeah, so I was just planning to do something in the sciences. So, yeah, that was basically the plan. Next question from Kodal. How do you feel about this meal? Captain Crunch plus Monster Energy equals breakfast. That might be the last breakfast that you ever eat. I hate to say it. But it might be. It might be. Next question. Chris says, what do you hope to achieve in this year? Can be anything channel or personal related. I hope to fail a lot this year. What I mean by that is I hope to fail in a lot of things so that I can become better. I think I need to basically try to become somebody who does things differently, where I've been doing sort of the same thing over and over again. So I want to try enough new things so that I fail a lot, but find something that succeeds tremendously. That's what I'm trying to do this year. Next question from Stickley says, what's up with the shoes on your skin? Why does the black part on the outer layer curve upward a bit? I've been struggling to interpret it ever since you got the new skin. It's been bugging me since. Those are not shoes. Those are rocket engines that I've attached to my legs. And whenever I jump, it gives a little bit of fire out the bottom, and it boosts me up one block. So, yeah, those are actually rocket engines, not shoes, you can see. So, like, the exhaust comes out here and propels me upwards. So, there you have it. That's that. Now you know the truth. Now you know the truth. Moving on, next question is from Elric. Says, what is the video you're most proud of and why? The video I'm most proud of is actually the No Longer Safe Skulk hype video, where I basically took the Skulk sensor and made a hype video about it. The reason I'm most proud of that is because I did a lot of additional audio production on that video that adds super small details that are really, really nice, and I really, really enjoyed making. I also learned a lot from that video about how to create atmosphere and stuff, so that is probably the video I'm most proud of at this current time. Next question from Otis Brown Dog Gaming. With your knowledge of space and the recent lunar apocalypse on Hermitcraft, is there anything you would like to see added to expand space in Minecraft? Yes. I would like to see aurora in the skies, particularly on the northern and southern half of the skybox would be really, really cool to see an aurora borealis at night. That would be super cool, add a lot of atmosphere to the game. I'd also like to see shooting stars streak across the skybox, because the stars are not unchanging in real life, nor should they be in Minecraft. And also, it would be nice if, with the spyglass, if you could see the shooting stars, maybe that gives you an advancement or does something. And if you looked right at the sun with the spyglass, it should give you blindness for a couple seconds. Those are a couple of space-related things that I think would be really nice to see in the game. Thank you for the question, Otis. Next question, Bulscato says, Cub, what is the moment you realize you could make a living playing the game you love, and how do you keep yourself engaged in the same game for so long? I realized I could make a living playing Minecraft when the Things You Might Not Know About Minecraft series took off. That's a very popular facts-based series on the channel. Has a bunch of Minecraft facts that you might not know, possibly. And it has, I think, 50 million views or something like that. That helped my channel grow tremendously a couple of years back. And yeah, is part of the reason why I'm here today. So that's the moment I realized. And how do you keep yourself engaged in the same game? I mix it up. I play a lot of different types of Minecraft, not just survival. I play on Hypixel, I play parkour, on Hypixel Housing. I play Cops and Crims. I play Skyblock. I play Bed Wars sometimes. I play different events like MCC and Twitch Rivals and Clash of the Creators, which mix it up. I do some speed runs, which you've seen some of recently on the channel. And yeah, I just mix it up a lot. So I do a lot of different things within the same game. So that's how I keep engaged. Next up, we have Helen. Helen asks, I have a couple of random questions. How did you come up with your name? I think I already answered that one. What's your favorite animal? What's your favorite movie/TV show? So I answered the name one already. What's your favorite animal? Blue whale. Blue whale is the largest animal to ever exist. Not only in our time, but in all time. Think about that. Think about that. Bigger than the dinosaurs. Bigger than anything that's ever existed. And you can go and see it right now today. If that's not awesome, I don't know what is. So blue whale. Absolutely. What's your favorite movie/TV show? I'm going to go with Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad was a great show. And it didn't overstay its welcome or anything. It ended on a high note. And yeah, it's a great TV show. Breaking Bad. Next up, we got Bruh. Bruh. Says, maybe controversial, but what do you think of the new era of Minecraft YouTube with YouTubers like Dream, Tommy, etc.? I think it's great. I think people love the content that they make. They love the manhunts that Dream does. They love Tommy's style of entertaining on Twitch and on YouTube. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. And I've had the privilege of playing with some of those guys and talking with some of those guys in MCC and outside of MCC. And yeah, I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. Next up, a question from JM says, if you're south of the northern wall, east of the western rock, and facing the sun at noon, where are you standing? So I'm going to assume the northern wall is the Great Wall of China. The western rock is Gibraltar. And you're facing the sun at noon, which I imagine means noon GMT. So I'm going to say that you're standing somewhere in the Sahara Desert west of in Western Africa. That's where I'm saying. That's my final answer. Final answer. Next question comes from Kit. Kit says, have you seen anything about the James Webb Space Telescope? And if so, what about it makes you the most excited? I am most excited to see what the James Webb Telescope can see of the early universe and how early, very early on, the universe formed the first stars and galaxies. That should be really, really interesting because we have never seen that portion of the universe. We've never seen what happened that far back, and this will be our first glimpse at that, and hopefully gets us a better idea of how the early universe formed and how the earliest galaxies came to be. So that's what I'm most excited about. So that's that. Let's see. Next thing. Do you have or have you ever played modded Minecraft? If so, did you have a favorite? I have played modded Minecraft, and my favorite mod ever made was Tale of Kingdoms by Tiber Alex. If you guys don't know, it was this awesome mod where you basically started off as sort of like a Mandalorian type figure, doing tasks for a king in a like pre-established built kingdom. And you could go out, you do these tasks, you could interact with NPCs, and slowly you gain more favor with the king. You gain wealth and status in the kingdom. And eventually you can go and start your own kingdom, have your own workers. You can go on quests. You have like enemies you can battle, like custom enemies. By far the best mod ever created. Tale of Kingdoms by Tiber Alex. I miss it so much. Next question from Minecraft Dad 81 says, I've heard you talk about golf before. What's the best part of your game? Driving, irons, or short game? I would say probably irons is my best strength, especially like the mid irons, like 6, 7, 8 iron. That's probably my best strength. I just feel more comfortable with those than any other clubs. But yeah, driving and short game are also pretty decent, but not quite as good as irons, I would say, for me. Why is my room so warm? Probably because there's a fire in there. You should probably evacuate immediately because the fire is going to grow quickly and it's going to get really, really warm in there really, really soon. So you got to get out of there, that Paxton. You got to leave. Just abandon the room. It's over and forget about it. Next up, Trig, what is your favorite update for Minecraft? My favorite update for Minecraft was the Village and Pillage update because it updated villagers added pillagers, added raids, added new blocks, added new structures, and updated villagers and villager buildings as well to become much more relevant and much more modernized part of the game. So, village and pillage update. Next up, Mark with a question asks, when you are thinking up new projects for Hermitcraft Seasons, what is the first thing you do? I think about the feeling that a build or project will elicit in people and how people can interact with that build. Because I think interaction within Minecraft, we honestly need more interaction within Minecraft with the world and with blocks and with items. So I think about feeling and interaction. Next question from Egg says, what do you think about capybaras? Capybaras are adorable, and they are surprisingly affectionate. If you didn't know, now you know. This is a capybara, by the way. Love capybaras. Absolutely fantastic animal. Next up, we have Andreas. Says, how many planets are there in our solar system? Good question, Andreas. And believe it or not, the answer is not that simple. First of all, the IAU definition of the planet, if you go by that, then there are 8 planets in the solar system. If you go by the geophysical definition of a planet, there are dozens of planets in the solar system. And if you are in certain states, there are, depending on where you live, 8 or 9 planets in the solar system, because some states back in 2006, 2007 passed laws that said that Pluto was still a planet because of public outrage. I know that's the case in Illinois, and I think also in Arizona, but I'm not sure on that one. I know in Illinois, though, there are still 9 planets rather than 8 because it's a law. So how many planets in the solar system? Depends on how you define a planet. Rihanna asks, what is your favorite pair of socks? Great question, Rihanna. And I thought about it a little bit, and it turns out it's this pair right here. Bam. These socks are straight from the great state of Alaska. They are made of very durable woolen material. Look at that. There's even like a moose. You guys see that? There's a freaking moose on these socks, dude. That's how you know they're good socks. If there's a moose on there, 100% it's a good sock. These are my favorite pair. Zero asks, do you edit your own videos? If yes, how do you get motivation to spend hours editing videos? Yes, I do edit my own videos. How do I get motivation to spend hours editing videos? If I don't do it, then nobody else will. So that's good enough motivation for me. Jay Snop asks, if you could add one rule to Hermitcraft Season 9 that all hermits had to follow, what would it be? I would add the rule that ender chests have to be in every shop. Honestly, it's 2022. Time to put the ender chest in the shop. Every single time. No exceptions. Otherwise, we burn it to the ground. Next up, Emily says, everybody's asking all these complicated questions, but I'm just wondering, how are you? Have you stayed hydrated today? Hope you're having an amazing day. You deserve it, King. Thank you so much, Emily. I hope you have an amazing day as well. I'm doing okay, and thanks for the reminder to stay hydrated. GP asks, how many numbers of pi can you remember off the top of your head? 3.1415926535897932384626433383. I think something like that. Close to that. Emma asks, would you like to see Moyang do more with copper? And if so, what would you like to see them do, / what uses would you give it in-game? Great question, Emma. I would love to see them do more with copper. Some of the things that I'd like to see them do would be things like copper buttons, copper pressure plates, sort of the standard stuff. You could also give copper even more unique uses. So, for instance, imagine if you had a copper block beside a note block, or touching a note block, and that sort of extended the sound that comes from that note block. That'd be a really cool way to manipulate sound and add sort of a new dimension to note blocks in that way. That'd be really cool. Thing I would really like to see, though, is copper pipes. That would basically work essentially as hoppers do now. Hoppers right now are essentially just terrible pipes because they constantly check for items above them falling into them. So if we could just get copper pipes that didn't do that and didn't cause massive lag, that would be a lot better, I think. Bacon Waffles asks, what is your favorite farm that you've built in Hermitcraft? Great question, Bacon Waffles. I think my favorite farm that I've built on Hermitcraft is probably the Sea Pickle farm from this season. Mostly because it was sort of like the design element and the functionality element came together in perfect harmony. It looks great, it functions phenomenally well, and it has like an awesome animation so that the sea pickles, instead of just like being produced and they just sort of float up or whatever. They like get shot out in like a fountain pattern, and then you run around and collect all of them. It's just a lot of fun to use, and it looks really cool and has great functionality. Kit Walker asks, I notice you and Cody's lab interact here a bit. Is there a story or is just plain old shared interests? I think it's just shared interests. Favorite MCU Disney Plus show if you have watched any of them? I have watched several of them, and my favorite one by far is Loki. Tom Hiddleston is a genius, and no one else can convince me otherwise. James asks, how do you take your tacos? Well, you got two options. You got your hard shell and you got your soft shell, right? So your hard shell is the superior option unequivocally. Let me give you an example. Soft shell taco, you're eating it, right? Stuff spilling out of the soft shell taco. Why? Because it's soft, right? It's soft. You can also tear it. You can also bend it. You don't want that. You want a proper taco, which is the hard shell. The only way the hard shell breaks is if you actually physically break the hard shell. That's why it's a hard shell. If it wasn't a hard shell, it would easily break and you'd have a soft shell. So go with the hard shell taco every time you have the possibility, or get out. K-Mingo asks, does your family have a special dish that you only have on special occasions? Yes, we do, K-Mingo, and that is pineapple upside down cake. We only have that on birthdays and special occasions like Christmas or Thanksgiving. And it is absolutely to die for. It is fantastic. There's nothing quite like it. Next question from HG Did asks, how many times can a bacteria multiply in 2 hours and 30 minutes? I would say at least several thousand times. And because of that, that is the reason why bacteria dominate the planet and not people. Most people think humans dominate the planet. Not even close. This world is a bacteria world. Always has been, always will be. Drew C. asks, which Bedrock feature would you like to be added to Java Edition? I'd like the ability to move and extract music discs from jukeboxes to be added to Java Edition. That's in the Bedrock Edition, so you can make cool things like jukeboxes, which play certain songs when you press certain buttons. I don't know why it hasn't been added to Java. It makes perfect sense. It fits with the themes of the game. Hopefully that comes to Java Edition soon. Aran Glancy asks, do you think Ligo or JWST will contribute more to fundamental science over the next decade? I think without a doubt, Ligo will contribute more over the next decade because it fundamentally offers a new look for the first time into a new area of science, if that makes sense. Like you have JWST is looking back in time and looking further back in time with infrared light, but LIGO is basically like in a totally uncharted territory with gravitational waves. So I think that LIGO will undoubtedly contribute more over the next decade, but I think both will be huge for astronomy and physics in general. By the way, I already lost a bet on LIGO. Not about to bet against it again. That's all for the questions today. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you didn't get your questions selected, we may do something like this in the future. If you didn't like this video, make sure to dislike it because it's not going to be seen on YouTube anyway. Hey-oh, let's go. Just kidding, but seriously, dislike it if you don't like it if you do. I'm out. Thank you guys so much. Peace.